Locked in a cold, unforgiving cage, the German Shepherd lay motionless. His eyes, dull, defeated, stared at nothing. Death row at the shelter. His time was almost up. Days had slipped into weeks. No one had come. No one wanted the big, scarred dog who flinched at every noise and cowered from every hand. He didn't bark anymore. He didn't try to get anyone's attention. The other dogs howled and whimpered, pleading for a chance. Rex lay silent, as if he already knew his fate. Then, something extraordinary happened. A moment so unexpected, it changed everything. The shelter was eerily quiet at night. The occasional whimper or howl echoed through the corridors, haunting reminders of longing. In the farthest corner, away from the main entrance, Rex curled into the smallest shape his large frame allowed. Cold metal pressed against his side, his once proud posture gone. The scars on his coat whispered stories of pain no one at the shelter truly knew. No one had asked. Maybe no one cared. Rex had learned barking did nothing. It didn't bring someone to his cage. It didn't get him out. Visitors passed him by. Always. They paused for younger, wagging tails and playful yips. Rex was too much, too big, too broken, too intimidating. That's what his record said. Aggressive, dangerous. But that wasn't the truth. Rex wasn't aggressive. He was terrified. Every raised hand, a reminder of pain. Every loud sound, a spark of panic. But no one saw that. To them, he was just another lost cause. And now, his time was almost up. That evening, as the staff finished their rounds, Rex watched in silence. His eyes no longer searched for hope. His heart carried the weight of too many empty days. Tomorrow was the end. The decision had been made. No space, no options. Rex had been labeled unfit. As the lights dimmed and the final door closed behind the last staff member, a deeper silence settled over the shelter. The other dogs cried. Rex didn't. Just one small sound escaped him, a soft whimper, not for attention, just a surrender. But in that quiet night, someone heard him. Across town, Emily scrolled through her phone in her tiny apartment. A vet tech by profession, an animal lover by heart, but lately even that had started to feel dim. She'd always dreamed of adopting a dog, but life kept throwing excuses. The apartment was too small, the hours were too long, the doubts too loud. Then she saw it. A post from the local shelter, a grainy photo of a German Shepherd curled in a cage, eyes empty and haunting. The caption read, "Rex, 5 years old, needs a home by tomorrow, or he will be euthanized." Her breath caught. There was something in his eyes, something broken, yet calling. She couldn't look away. "You can't save them all," she whispered, a phrase she'd heard too many times. But tonight, those words felt wrong. Without thinking, she dialed the shelter. No answer. It was late. But she left a message anyway. "Hi, my name's Emily. I saw your post about Rex. I know it's late, but I want to help. Please, don't do anything until I come by tomorrow." As she hung up, a storm of emotions crashed into her. Fear, doubt, and a strange, unwavering pull. She didn't know why this dog. She just knew she had to try. She set her alarm. Early. She'd be at the shelter the moment they opened. Back at the shelter, Rex remained still, unaware that somewhere, someone had chosen to fight for him. Moonlight spilled through the small barred window, casting a silver glow across his warm body. And for the first time in weeks, Rex let out a long, deep sigh, as if a part of him somehow knew. The morning came, soft and golden. Shelter staff moved through their routine, feeding, cleaning, prepping. For Rex, it was just another day in the endless loop. But today wasn't just another day. The sound of footsteps echoed down the corridor. Karen, the shelter manager, clipboard in hand, walked toward Rex's cage. Her expression held regret, but her eyes firm. "I'm sorry, boy," she murmured. "We tried. No one came." She moved on. Rex didn't respond. He had no energy left for hope. But outside, a car pulled into the lot. Emily's hands gripped the steering wheel. Her heart raced. What if I can't handle him? What if he really is aggressive? The doubts whispered louder with every step she took toward the entrance. But those eyes from the photo, she couldn't forget them. Inside, Karen was reviewing Rex's file one last time when the door chimed. She looked up to see a young woman, flushed, breathless, but with a fire in her eyes. "Hi, I'm Emily," she said, her voice shaking. "I called last night." "About Rex?" Karen blinked, glancing at the clock. "You're here early," she replied. "But you're too late. He's scheduled—" "Wait," Emily said, cutting her off. "I'll take him." Karen hesitated. "Are you sure? Rex? He's not easy. He's been through a lot. We've had issues." "I'm sure," Emily said, voice steadier now. "I know what I'm doing. Please, just give me a chance." There was something in Emily's tone, calm but unwavering. Karen studied her a moment, then slowly set down the clipboard. "All right, let me take you to him." Emily followed Karen down the corridor, the chorus of barking and whining swelling with every step. The air was thick with the scent of disinfectant and damp fur, a heavy reminder of where they were. As they reached Rex's cage, Emily's heart dropped. He was even more broken in person than in the photo. Curled tightly into the farthest corner, head resting on his paws, eyes vacant. He didn't even look up. Karen opened the cage slowly, her movements deliberate. "Be careful," she warned softly. "He's not exactly welcoming." Emily crouched low, her voice gentle, barely above a whisper. "Hey, Rex, it's okay, boy. I'm here to take you home." At the sound of her voice, Rex stirred. He lifted his head slightly, ears twitching. He didn't move, but something flickered behind those dull eyes, a whisper of curiosity. Emily reached out, slow and steady, leaving space between them. "It's okay," she said again. "I'm not going to hurt you." Rex tensed, still uncertain. His body was rigid with fear, but then, slowly, he shifted. His nose lifted, sniffing the air between them. Emily held her breath. He inched forward, tentative, wary. When his nose finally brushed her hand, Emily felt the breath she'd been holding escape in a shaky sigh. "Good boy," she murmured, her voice catching. "Good boy." Karen watched silently, a flicker of surprise softening her features. "You've got a lot of work ahead of you," she said, "but maybe, just maybe, this'll work." As Emily led Rex through the shelter doors, the morning sun cast a warm glow over them. His steps were slow, stiff, uncertain, but he followed. For the first time in months, Rex was leaving the shelter behind. For the first time in months, he had hope. They would face it together. The days stretched into weeks, and Rex began to change. At first, it was barely noticeable. A slight wag of the tail when Emily called his name. The way he followed her from room to room, not close, but always near, always watching. Each small shift felt like a milestone, a crack in the thick walls he'd built around himself. Emily never rushed him. She let him come to her in his own time. She celebrated the tiniest moments, like when he lay on the dog bed she'd bought him instead of the cold floor. She nearly cried. It meant he was beginning to trust, beginning to believe this new life might not be so bad. One quiet evening after a long day at work, Emily decided it was time for something new. She picked up a leash and knelt in front of him. "What do you think, buddy? Want to go for a walk?" Rex tilted his head, ears perked, eyes curious. It was the most expression she'd seen from him yet. Encouraged, she gently clipped the leash to his collar and opened the front door. Rex paused. His eyes darted to hers, uncertain. She gave him a soft pat. "It's okay. Let's go." The cool evening air met them as they stepped outside. The street was quiet, leaves rustling in the trees, the hum of the world soft and distant. Rex moved hesitantly, his body low to the ground, but with each step, he loosened. His nose twitched, picking up unfamiliar scents, each one a mystery to unravel. For Emily, it was a beautiful, aching moment. How long had it been since he last walked freely? How many years in confinement, robbed of something so simple? As they turned a corner, a man appeared, a neighbor, walking a cheerful golden retriever. Emily froze. Her grip on the leash tightened, steady but calm. "It's okay, Rex," she whispered. The golden retriever wagged happily. The man gave her a warm smile. "New dog?" he asked. She nodded. "This is Rex. I adopted him a few weeks ago." The man crouched a little, keeping his distance, hand extended gently. Rex stiffened. Emily could feel the tension vibrate through the leash. For a moment, she held her breath. But Rex didn't lunge. He simply took a step back, his body taut, his eyes guarded, but not aggressive. "Good boy," Emily said quietly, pride swelling in her chest. The man straightened with a knowing nod. "You're doing great. Just takes time. They always come around." Emily smiled, gratitude soft in her eyes. As they continued their walk, Rex grew more confident, his steps steadier, his posture less guarded. When they reached the front door again, he was walking at her side, head a little higher than before. That night, curled on the couch with a cup of tea, Emily was startled by the soft thump of paws approaching. Rex. His tail gave a faint wag as he rested his head on her lap. Emily froze, tears welling unexpectedly. She set the cup down and stroked his fur gently. Warm, solid, real. "You're a good boy, Rex," she whispered. "You're going to be okay." For the first time, Rex seemed truly at peace. His eyes closed, and a soft sigh slipped from his chest as he let himself rest against her. The walls around his heart were finally starting to fall, but peace, it seemed, would not come easily. One night, as Emily tidied up the apartment, she caught sight of something strange. A car, parked across the street, unfamiliar, headlights off. It had been sitting there for hours, still, watching. Rex, who had been dozing near the window, suddenly stood. His body stiffened, his ears pricked. A low, rumbling growl rumbled from deep within his chest. Emily's blood ran cold. For all the progress they'd made, all the healing, Rex's past was still out there, and it had just found them. The car was still there, parked across the street, its dark silhouette lurking just beneath the dim halo of the streetlight, motionless, watching. Emily tried to brush off the unease crawling up her spine. "It's probably a neighbor," she told herself. "Someone visiting. Nothing unusual." But the gnawing in her chest told her otherwise. Rex knew better. He stood rigid by the window, a low, steady growl rising from deep in his chest. His body was tense, muscles coiled tight, eyes locked on the shadowed shape outside. "Rex," Emily whispered, crouching beside him. She ran a hand gently through his fur, trying to soothe him. "It's okay, buddy. You're safe here." But Rex didn't relax. His growl deepened, a warning, not of fear, but of recognition. Emily had seen him startled before, jumping at loud sounds or flinching from sudden movement. But this was something else. This was deeper, primal, instinctive. She glanced at the clock. Past midnight. Whatever this was, she needed to know. With a breath she didn't fully believe in, Emily stepped outside. The cold night air hit her skin like a wave, the stillness of the street amplifying the sound of her heartbeat. The car remained, windows tinted, engine off, silent, ominous. "Can I help you?" she called out, her voice surprisingly steady despite the tremor of fear in her gut. Nothing. A beat passed. Then, suddenly, the engine growled to life. Headlights flared, and just like that, the car peeled away into the night. Emily stood there, frozen on the edge of her driveway, her heart thundering in her chest as the taillights vanished down the street. When she turned back to the house, Rex was still at the window, unmoving. His eyes hadn't left the road. The next morning, the dread hadn't gone away. If anything, it had settled in deeper. Emily picked up the phone and called the shelter, hoping for answers, anything that might explain the night before. "I was wondering if you had more information on Rex's background," she asked. There was a pause on the other end of the line. "Not much," the manager replied, her tone apologetic. "He was picked up as a stray. No microchip, no tags." Emily hesitated. "But was there anything unusual? Anything about where he might have come from?" Another pause. "Well, there were some rumors. Nothing confirmed," the manager said carefully. "But we heard he might have been involved in a dogfighting ring." Emily's stomach dropped. Dogfighting. The word felt like a punch to the chest. Everything suddenly made a terrible kind of sense. His fear, his flinches, the scars on his body and the shadows in his eyes. And if someone from that world had found her, this wasn't random. That evening, Emily locked every door, checked the windows, then checked them again. She tried to keep calm, tried to act like nothing had changed, but Rex knew. He was more alert than usual, glued to her side like a quiet guardian. No pacing, no nervous glances, just watchful, still. It helped, a little. But as the night dragged on, the air thickened again. That same weight pressing down, tighter and tighter. Around midnight, Rex stood suddenly. His ears perked, his growl returned. Emily followed his gaze to the window, and her blood turned to ice. The car was back. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe for more powerful journeys of resilience, healing, and second chances. Share this video with friends and family because every share spreads awareness and every view brings us one step closer to saving more lives like Rex's. Your support means everything. It keeps this mission alive. One story, one soul, one miracle at a time. Let's keep the flame of compassion burning strong, because together we can do the extraordinary. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next story.